This is the story of one man, one chef, and a city. Also, it's about France and a lot of other chefs, and a culinary tradition that grew up to change the world of gastronomy. It's about a family tree, about the trunk from which many branches grew. And it's about food, lots of food, great food, some of the greatest food on earth.
I took a walk through this beautiful world, felt the cool rain on my shoulder, found something good in this beautiful world. I felt the rain getting colder. Sha la 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 la, sha la 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 la, sha la 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 la, sha la 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 la
What is it exactly about this place? Over the past century, the system here, the tradition, whatever it is that took hold here, churned out a tremendous number of the world's most important chefs. Point, Chapelle, Trois Gros, Bocuse, and as importantly, influenced nearly all the rest of them.
Why Lyon? Why is this such a gastronomic capital, though? I mean, why Bocuse here? Why Trois Gros here? Why all of these great chefs?
Because Lyon it's really positioned between the north and the south.
Right.
You are locked in between Burgundy and Rhone.
Lyon, it's the second largest city in France, situated in the southeast of the country, midway between the Alps in the east and the Mediterranean to the south.
This was also a bottleneck when cars became the mode of transportation.
It goes right to the heart of the idea of the Michelin, driving the destination on the way to the...
Completely.
Out of that system came chefs like this guy, Daniel Boulud. Like Prince or Madonna, he needs really only one name. In New York or anywhere in the chef world, Daniel. The name of his three-star eponymous restaurant in Manhattan. One of many in an empire that stretches from London to Singapore. He came from here, a farm outside the city of Lyon, through the city's great kitchens to Le Cirque in New York, then his flagship.
So when did you start working with food?
14 years old, 1969.
Uh-huh.
I started as an apprentice in Lyon.
He started as so many French cooks of his time did, at the very bottom, as a 14-year-old apprentice in the restaurant Nandron.
What was your first job in the kitchen?
They used to call me the beaver because I was just washing everything all day. You know, they make you clean the vegetable, they make you carry all the boxes from the market.
14. You can't do that anymore, can you?
I don't think you can make him work 12 hours a day.
Right.
And pay him maybe $1 a month. You know what I mean? That's,
the good old days.
yeah, well.
Why Lyon? Why here? Look at the fundamentals, the things the Lyonnais think of as birthrights. The right, for instance, to eat delicious cured pork in unimaginably delicious forms.
The art of charcuterie, Lyonnais can't live without it.
Look at this.
Terrine, pâté, sausages, rillettes. It's an art that's revered here and widely enjoyed.
Monsieur Renaud.
Bonjour,
Merci.
avec grand plaisir.
Tony.
Bonjour, monsieur.
Tony, voilà.
Tony.
And few names garner more respect from aficionados of pig than Renaud.
Alors, on hache le saucisson à cuire, là, en ce moment.
20 tons of saucisson just inside this room. The holiday are coming, and they're going mad with the production of saucisson.
Right.
In a relentlessly cold room, pork shoulder, belly, and fatback are fed in batches through a vertical chopper. A sprinkling of seasoning and spices.
Commence comme ça.
Removed in large balls of finely but not too finely chopped meat. You do not want to get your hand caught in one of these things. Then mixed to a smooth perfection with the dough hook.
Man up.
A lot of work.
Spread out and layered for consistent seasoning, formed it to shapes, and smacked to remove air bubbles.
Make sure the meat gets really tight.
Into the sausage machine and piped into organic casings. Trust me, it ain't easy.
No, Tony. Very light touch.
Let's see there, wise guy. Come on, let's see this. That's how you get pregnant.
It's all in the knee.
Yeah.
Just release at the end.
It's a serious workplace, but with production nearly done, this being France and all, it's time for a snack and some wine.
Doing what I'm good at, eating.
This is the saucisson à cuire.
This is so good.
Là, le sabaudet. Le vrai sabaudet, c'est ça.
Sabaudet, another of Lyon's most famous sausages, is made primarily from pig's head, with pork belly, pork shoulder, brandy, nutmeg, and allspice mixed in for flavor.
This always cooked, served hot.
Yeah.
Oh, man, that's good.
That's what we're gonna eat with my father.
Oh, yeah?
I'm gonna get some here of the skin.
Saucisson de Lyon, le vrai saucisson de Lyon. Voilà, peut-être un peu trop.
He knows he does really good work. He knows how good his stuff is, you know? Cheers. Ah, nice. It's a beautiful day in Lyon.
Yeah.
In Lyon, a city that believes absolutely in the power of food, one name is everywhere. A name that brought honor, attention, and millions of visitors to the city. Though there have been many chef heroes in the annals of gastronomy, in Lyon and even across France, one name stands above all others. Murals, bridges, markets, casual brasserie, the name of Monsieur Paul is everywhere. But one of his most enduring institutions is this, l'Institut Bocuse, one of the nation's great culinary schools. Now, just to give you an idea of the standards here, the kind of traditional dishes, baseline, old school fundamentals you're expected to master before you move on to becoming a creative genius all your own, meet these guys. Mathieu Vianney, Joseph Viola, and the Institute's top dog, Alain Le Cossec, chefs and MOFs all, otherwise known as muffs.
Pretty much pay your flight home, private.
Master chefs.
Every 4 years, they have this MOF competition.
MOF is...
Meilleur ouvrier de France.
The master craftsmen of France.
There's about 30 disciplines of craftsmen where you can acquire the MOF.
See that red, white, and blue around their necks? That means they made it through the brutally, unreasonably rigorous competition that pits hundreds of top chefs against each other, where only a handful survive.
So it's basically 4 or 5 every 4 years.
Certified by the highest in the land as being at the very top of their professions. Muff challenges often include ultra old-school classics not unlike the one we're making today. Poularde en vessie. Thick slices of black truffle are slipped under the skin of a chicken from Bresse, the Rolls-Royce of chickens. It's then tied, slipped inside a pig's bladder, and steamed in court bouillon until tender.
The idea is to concentrate the flavor of the truffle inside the bladder. The dish they choose, it's always in reference to a chef of the past. And this was a dish that Mère Brasier was doing.
The at times brutal world of the Michelin star kitchen looks much of the time like a boys' club. But where did they come from? If we track back a bit to where it all began for Lyon and for many of the chefs whose names we now know and look up to, it all goes back to here. La Mère Brasier, the godmother, the original master, teacher, chef, force. 2 restaurants with 3 Michelin stars. an achievement no one, male or female, had ever attained, and for many years, Lyon's most famous chef. Her influence runs right through every kitchen that's come since, and her graduates carry on her recipes and her traditions. This was one of hers, a signature.
For the next hour, you keep putting hot bouillon like this. The most miserable thing is when the bladder explodes.
It's never a good thing when a bladder explodes.
As the chicken cooks, the bladder starts to really expand. You have to talk to your bladder.
I do all the time, believe me. Please hold up, please hold up. You're not here. People are looking. Wait till you get in between cars.
A rather luxurious sauce of more, much more black truffle and generous amounts of foie gras and triple cream. Perfect.
Nice milkshake.
Slightly pink around the legs, but cooked through, the flesh perfumed by the generous slices of truffle.
Who gets to eat like this? We do.
How is it, Tony?
It is divine.
You see the perfect balance in the sauce. If I was a chicken, that's the way I would like to end up.
Even if I weren't a chicken, I'd want to go like this. Dice surrounded by truffles and foie gras and fine wine. Bonté et merci.
Cheers.
The roaring of a powerful engine, the screech of rubber, and off we go, kings of the road in our Citroën 2 Chevaux, 2 horsepower classic.
No power steering, huh?
No kidding.
It's like a toy car.
We're going back in time a bit, to the area where Danielle grew up, where life was very different from New York.
Were you the misfit of the family? Rebellious or...
I was quite rebellious. My parents were talking to me about the idea of taking over the farm. As the oldest son, that would have been the logical thing.
Right.
And,
But the farmer's life was not for you.
No.
He grew up in a true farm family. You milked the cows, tended the animals. Danielle claims he never even saw processed food until he was a teenager.
Oh.
Il a la poubelle, la voiture. Join in the garbage,
A brief respite by the side of the road, and some passers-by are apparently less appreciative of fine automobiles than we are. A short consultation with an automotive professional, and we're back on the road. Back, in this case, to school. This was Danielle's old elementary school in the nearby town of Saint-Pierre-de-Chandieu. I am automatically taken back to memories of my own school days. The smell of caustic pine cleaner, chalkboards, and fear. The cruel ministrations of tiny-eyed lunch ladies slopping can loads of prison chow into steam tables. Chipped beef, tuna noodle surprise, and powdered mashed potatoes that haunt my sense memories still.
Pumpkin soup today with onion, nutmeg, and chicken stock, but basic good pumpkin soup.
This is Marie, head chef, cook, host, and server for 320 hungry and very discriminating French school children ages 3 to 12. On the menu prix fixe today, a pumpkin soup, a fresh blanquette de poisson with white wine, vanilla, and shallot, served with homemade couscous, and a sauce supreme.
This is a very sophisticated meal for children.
That's a nice meal.
I was a little shit in school, frankly.
Yeah.
And like a lot of the other students, we were like, I want pizza, pizza, pizza. Are the children here open to variety?
Oui, beaucoup. Enfin, ils aiment bien, ils mangent très bien.
You want to make sure that they always get a little challenged by how the food looks, then the smell, and also the taste after. I think she has a very strict budget.
In the USA, greatest country in the world, no doubt, We spend an average of $2.75 per student for public school lunch. Compare and contrast.
€1,05 maximum.
$1.50.
Did you eat this well when you were here?
Absolutely.
Je m'appelle Tony. Bonjour. Bonjour.
Bonjour, Daniel. Ça va?
The kids attack their food like hungry trenchermen, wiping out 3 servings in the time it takes me to eat 1. I guess they like it.
It's good.
Delicious.
Well, yeah, this is good.
I tell you, I don't think my chef in New York will do better.
I love they cook with wine, too. You're going to jail for that in the States.
Exactly, I'm making the sauce.
Crap, these kids eat fast. But look how fast this
Right.
kid eats. Turn your head, they'll eat your soup right out of your plate. My school lunchroom, you pushed up your tray, just like in prison. Stop.
Here.
Move it along. Stop.
Yeah, here
Move it along.
they come to you and serve you. Most important thing, and that we see here, is the love Mary gives to the food she makes and to the kids she serves. I think it has a lot to do with the reaction they have to food.
Dessert is homemade fromage blanc, farmer cheese, with chocolate and orange segments.
What do you want to be when you grow up? Yeah, veterinarian. Fireman. Et toi, tu veux quoi?
Ingénieur en armement.
Engineering, machine gun.
He wants to make machine guns?
Engineer in machine gun, yeah. Oh,
Okay, keep an eye on that one. All right.
For a dope fiend, feeding the monkey means finding and sticking with heroin. For one poor guy, it's this: French food, in particular, Lyonnais food. The cautionary tale of Bill Buford. Writer, editor, literary lion with a perfectly good job as fiction editor at the prestigious New Yorker magazine. At the undignified age of 53, he pretty much pulled up stakes, put his whole past life on hold, and defected to France to learn how to cook.
What happened to you anyway, Buford? You used to have a good job. You hang out a couple of nights with Batali, and then next thing you know, you're living in France.
It's true.
And cooking.
I discovered a whole world that the rest of the world didn't seem to know about. It's just a very compressed, intense, lifelong learned expertise and knowledge of food. It's not the Food Network, and it's not glossy magazines, and it's not something you get from reading a recipe book. It's something you get by just going deep. And I was afraid of France because I knew if I took on the subject of French food, I'd have to go really deep. So we went, and we thought we'd stay for 6 months, and we stayed for 5 years.
We meet at Bouchon Comptoir à Belle. A bouchon is a uniquely Lyonnais institution, a casual, laid-back kind of a pub/bistro with a limited, usually old-school menu and always an unpretentious vibe. People come here to unwind, to relax, and to eat with abandon.
So you say outright recently in one of your published works that Lyon is better than Paris.
Lyon is a dark, tragic, beautiful, well-eating city, and everybody here knows that they have a really good life, and they don't give a flying fig if anybody else knows about it. They don't actually want visitors.
If you were to pick one iconic dish to represent the bouchon lyonnais, it would have to be the quenelle brochet, a not particularly fabulous river fish, pike, folded into a light dough like pâte choux until fluffy and airy but still rich, adrift in a rich, creamy, almost bisque-like Nantua sauce made with crayfish, creme fraiche, white wine, and a splash of brandy.
Pretty amazing for really one of the world's less wonderful fish.
It's kind of a nice mix of France and Italy.
Cheers.
Cheers,
Guys,
gentlemen.
good to see you.
What a treat to meet together in Lyon.
If you're really going to understand a place, love it the way it deserves to be loved, maybe you have to live there. Bill Buford did just that and made Lyon his home. Today he's taking me somewhere only someone from the home team could be expected to know about.
It's a beautiful day. The sky is blue. We're feeling the seasons changing, and we're about to go into a dark room, and you eat a very Lyonnaise menu, and you drink a vast quantity of Lyonnaise wine.
And what sinister bodies will be in there?
The only kind of people who would do this kind of thing on a bright, pretty day. It's a very male tradition. You work hard, you drink harder.
Don't be afraid.
Don't be afraid.
The mysterious, fabulous, goofy, wonderful brofests called Franc-Machons. These are basically eating and drinking societies that go back over a century, when the silk workers of Lyon would finish their night shifts early in the morning. Hungry and looking to get, shall we say, completely hammered, they'd take over a bouchon, stuff their faces like heroes, blow off the proverbial steam in decidedly French fashion. Which is to say, no freaking Italian nachos or mozzarella sticks for these boys. Hell no.
How often do you do this?
8 times a year.
It's a very Lyonnese thing, societies, some secret, all of them sort of like special memberships. There must be like 50 of these things that I know about. Remember if you're invited to be a member and remain a member for the rest of your life.
The food is invariably deliciously dinosauric, and heavy yet always glorious classics like blanquette de veau, the slow, slowly stewed neck and shoulder pieces of veal with mushrooms served over rice. Hunks of bread and wine, local Beaujolais of course, and lots of it.
Santé.
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 No woman. That's all. No politics, no religion. And it works. For 50 years. Yes.
Do women have machon, their own organizations?
Yes.
There are. So somewhere on the other side of town, there are a lot of women sitting around drinking wine, eating blanquette, and bitching about the men. Uh-oh.
And then there will be, yes, singing, and no doubt the telling of lusty jokes, followed by serious official business.
Buffet. Il n'avait ni riche buffet, ni verre de Venise. Il buvait un tonneau. Comme les trous, mon bleu, bien autrement que nous.
Alongside, and some say above the names of the other culinary giants in and around Lyon, is the name Trois Gros. Started by the visionary brothers Jean and Pierre, Maison Trois Gros received 3 Michelin stars in 1968 and sparked a dynasty of culinary excellence that continues today with Pierre's son Michel and his son César.
My dream was always to put Maison Trois Gros on my resume. It's my first day chez Trois Gros.
Anthony, bonjour.
Bonjour.
Comment allez-vous?
Très bien.
Many have called Maison Trois Gros the best restaurant in the world, and in the 60s, the brothers Pierre and Jean were early, important, and fundamental innovators of what came to be known as Nouvelle Cuisine. Behold one of their breakout classics, one of the truly game-changing, timeless, most influential dishes in history. It seems now, maybe, a simple thing, but it absolutely turned the world upside down when it debuted on the Trois Gros menu in 1962.
I mean, when you have a dish this legendary, this iconic, there's no escaping. The Rolling Stones will always have to play Jumping Jack Flash. If you Google Trois Gros, you'll see this name.
So forget everything you have on Google. Watch it now.
Before this, fish was generally overcooked. It was served alongside elaborate garnishes, starches, vegetables. This simple, elegant, almost Japanese ode to flavor changed the way we cook fish in restaurants today, and how we make sauces, what our plates look like.
I remember seeing a picture of this as a young man. I'm getting goosebumps seeing this. Thrilling. Perfect.
Let's see that.
Beautiful.
It's all about the timing. The moment you put the fish on the pan, the moment you put the soy on the sauce, it's very important.
Okay. Wow. Go. All right.
Then, from now to you in the dining room, it will take about 1 minute.
Right.
So, 1 minute is the time to have it perfect.
Because it's cooking all the way.
Look at the cuisson.
Oh, perfect. It's a perfect dish.
Sinful and delicious.
It's really one of the great ideas of the 20th century.
Sensual.
Sexy.
When in Lyon, one can't help but see a line from there, from the rustic dishes of the farm and the bouchon, to here, the classics of the great tables of Europe. All roads lead here. A major trunk of the tree that goes back to Carême and beyond. Monsieur Paul Bocuse. The brigade, the way it is done and has always been done since Escoffier instituted a military-style hierarchy into the kitchen, where the only acceptable response to any question or any command is "Oui, chef." This is the Special Forces, the SAS of cooking. And these cooks live to avoid, under any circumstances, disappointing their comrades, the hierarchy, or Monsieur Paul. Danielle worked here, and so have many, many who have gone on to run their own celebrated kitchens.
Hello, comment ça va? Vous allez bien?
In the 70s, as a young wannabe cook, I managed to lay hands on a French copy of Paul Bocuse's classic cookbook, La Cuisine de Marché. And I gaped with wonder at the photos, struggled to translate the descriptions of dishes so fantastic I was quite sure I'd never, ever in my life cook, much less eat.
Paul.
If you could please say how honored and grateful I am to be here. This is a dream come true.
Paul, tu sais qu'il est très honoré.
Avec plaisir.
Over the years, how many great chefs have come through this restaurant and gone on to open great restaurants?
Beaucoup.
Oui.
Je sais pas, mais pas mal. Ce qui est formidable, il y en a un peu dans le monde entier. Je dis quand je voyage, j'en trouve toujours un.
You always have a child somewhere around the world because everywhere he goes around the world.
But Bocuse, too, is and was a part of the system. He came up with his own cruel and terrifying masters, and their faces are here.
L'histoire pour Paul, ses inspirations.
Fernand Point, the towering and intimidating figure behind La Pyramide. Out of his kitchens came such figures as Alain Chapelle, Michel Guérard, François Bise, Roger Verger, Georges Perrier, the brothers Trois Gros, and many more.
This was all the gang of the Nouvelle Cuisine up there. The 60s in New York. And Paul and Michel Guérard.
Every great chef I've ever met has nightmares. They're still a young man. They're back in a kitchen, and a chef is yelling at them. Who of his masters?
Peut-être la mère Brasier.
La mère Brasier. The woman. Really?
Oui.
La Mère Brasier. In the year 1946, at the ripe old age of 20, Monsieur Paul worked as an apprentice for Brasier.
She was such a screamer. He said, you will fall on your ass. She was screaming so hard.
Première levée
She was the first up in the morning
et dernière couchée.
and the last one to go to bed. She will go to the market with 3 cooks in the back of the truck, and she will put a case of green beans or something, and the cook will be sitting down, making the beans not to waste time for the rest of the mise en place.
Truly a terrifying figure.
Truffle soup, Élysée. I can't tell you how many hours I stared at photos of this dish, how pathetically I tried to replicate it. Never, ever did I think I'd get to try it, much less like this. Loup en croûte feuilletée avec sauce choron. Sea bass with a tomato béarnaise sauce baked in a meticulously crafted millefeuille crust.
This is a great moment.
Ils ont que 3 caméras.
Yeah, you only have 3 cameras? Or...
The fish is filled with a delicate lobster mousse, chervil, and tarragon, then wrapped carefully in pastry. Notice, please, the careful and expert tableside carving and service.
Nous, ça fait 50 ans qu'on fait les mêmes plats.
He has been making the same thing for 50 years. Paul has an amazing respect for classic.
A pot au feu, the peasant classic.
Tony, get closer.
You were totally sending me every one of those pictures,
Yeah.
by the way. Wow, look at that. This style of dish goes back long before cameras, but it's perfect. Is there a more perfect assortment of colors and textures?
In this one, a somewhat more luxurious version. Beef shanks, flank steak, oxtail, veal shanks, chicken, marrow bones, beef ribs, leeks, carrots, turnips, fennel, and parsnips, all stewed long and at low temperature, then served with its own deeply rich broth.
Think is enough for the 2 of us?
And then this.
Oh my God.
Messieurs, le lièvre à la royale.
As if the chef had been listening to my deepest, darkest secret yearnings. The legendary lièvre à la royale, an almost completely disappeared, incredibly difficult preparation of wild hare. The animal is first slowly cooked, then coated by a sauce of its own minced heart, liver, and lungs that has been thickened with its own blood. After more than 6 hours of preparation, the hare is served as the chef prefers, whole on the bone. The rich, glorious sauce finished with truffles and chartreuse, napped over and over until it coats like richest chocolate. Absolutely the lost ark of the covenant of cuisine ancienne.
Everything great about cooking is encapsulated in this dish.
We will continue all over the world to make cuisine of Paul many generations to come.
Forever. I will never eat like this again in my life. Chef, merci.
J'étais très heureux de vous recevoir.
The meal of my life.
Today, I was treated to the greatest hits of a glorious and fabled career. For the first and probably the last time, I sat next to the great man himself, and Danielle and I were served a menu that chefs will look back on in 100 years and smile at appreciatively, sentimentally, respectfully. So, me and Danielle were going hunting, and over lunch we'd mentioned that fact to Paul Bocuse, who immediately insisted that if we wanted to go duck hunting, we should come by his crib. And so we find ourselves in the morning mist of Les Dômes, a rural area about a half hour outside Lyon. And sure enough, in spite of his 88 years and the fact that he's been less than well, 9 a.m. on the nose, there he is, sitting on top of his beloved John Deere with his faithful dog Festin ready to go.
Nice, fresh morning.
Yeah, I was just thinking. Smell is beautiful. That dog is happy.
The great chef loves this place, and you can see why. Monsieur Paul can't safely hunt, but he's happy to charge around flushing birds for us.
Beautiful. Yeah, it is beautiful. I could do this all day. That was about as good as we're gonna get, too.
You got bulletproof or wild boar?
If you look long enough, you start hallucinating. You start hallucinating ducks where there aren't any.
You see that one falling?
Okay, not a moment to waste. Quickly, a second shot.
Okay.
You got it?
Yeah,
Allez,
right there.
Là-bas.
sous le pont. Festin.
Oh, Festin, là, là, là.
Between me and Danielle and Festin the dog, we managed to actually bag a few ducks.
Good job. Done là, yalla, Festin. Very good.
What easy shot.
Then it's back to the lodge, clearly Bocuse's happy place, where we meet up with some hunting buddies of the great chef.
You did a good job, no? Qu'est-ce que t'en penses, Tony?
Success.
Yeah, it's fantastic.
Is this the hunting lodge, the weekend getaway, hang out with the guys?
That's where you come every day, almost. Hein? Tu viens pratiquement ici tous les jours.
Un peu moins maintenant, mais autrement tout le temps.
Yeah, a little
Il y a
bit less.
toujours, on piège beaucoup.
Look at the picture behind. You see?
For tonight's meal, we pluck and roast some woodcocks over an open fire. Cook up some well-aged duck and pheasant.
They made this at the auberge Paul Bocuse. It's a Swiss star mashed potato here.
Is it predominantly butter or predominantly potatoes? You have a head in there somewhere?
Yes, of course. Yeah, no.
That's perfect happiness right there. My father used to say, I am a man of simple needs. And I noticed that the chef is a nice fire, some birds.
We can spend the whole week with Paul, and we'll be hunting, we'll be cooking, we'll be eating, drinking, and talking, and that's beautiful. Ah ouais, en plus.
Life is good.
It is for me a dream to spend this time with a legend. But I'm thrilled that Bocuse too seems genuinely delighted.
Le rougeau. The duck you shot was a rougeau. You see, is the one behind you on the top there? Yeah.
In Lyon, all across France, he's Monsieur Paul. He's the great chef, a public figure, a hero, an institution, always treated with the greatest deference. Here it appears he's free to enjoy the simple things with friends and local farmers who talk to him like anybody else. It's a pretty damn magical thing to see.
La lumière bleue des magasins.
Daniel may be a 3-star Michelin chef, but like so many of his predecessors, he's basically a farm boy at heart. He grew up milking cows and doing farm work here on his family's spread. There is, it turns out, something of a restaurant tradition to build on. The house on his farm was once a small cafe as well, operated first by his grandparents and great-grandparents. The famous Café Boulou, it turns out, was not the first place to bear that name.
They kept it about 80 years or 100 years, and then they closed it.
Voilà. 5 minutes, et parfait. Non.
Meeting Daniel's dad, one begins to understand the roots of his perfectionism.
Bien calculé, hein?
Très bien calculé.
His mom, dad, wife Catherine, and Danielle collaborate.
Attends. Oui.
With some debate.
Yeah, mais un petit peu au milieu encore.
On a super old-school farmhouse classic. The sort of thing that good times, bad times, a family could make with stuff that's always readily available on the farm. Check this out. It's a hollowed-out pumpkin layered with toasted hunks of stale country bread, which Monsieur Boulou Sr. bakes himself. Nutmeg, grated Gruyere cheese, mushrooms, fresh cream from the cows, and the meat of the pumpkin.
And a layer of bacon also. Homemade pancetta. Very good. Oh man, it's heavy.
Ça, repasser. Oui, voilà. Attention, pas de salir.
We made it.
Is he concerned that the pumpkin's going to try to get out?
Daniel's dad could be something of a Gallic MacGyver. You don't waste stuff around here, and he's a bit of an inventor anyway.
How much would you pay for a machine like this?
Look at this. An old washing machine turned still.
What the hell is that?
Regarde, une fois que c'est commencé, ça va.
So underneath we have the grape, but to seal it so there is no air coming in, he has cement on top. It's not distilled yet, it's just fermented.
Leftover grape solids from the winemaking process usually used to make liquor like grappa. Today, a different use. If we can get it out of here.
Think like, why did you put so much cement on it?
L'odeur.
This is funky. Super.
We'll be using this delightfully funky stuff to flavor the steam that cooks the vegetables and the sabodé sausages from Monsieur Renan inside the still.
And we come back in an hour.
At dusk, we settle for dinner.
Oh la la!
Oh, look at that.
Here is the pumpkin.
Incredible. Look at that. Wow.
The pumpkin is amazing. We also have that great sabodé sausage from Monsieur Renan.
Oh, look at that. Whoa.
Cabbage and potatoes, all steamed in the still.
The flavor you get from the fermented grape, awesome.
Yeah, it's awesome, huh?
But good. So good.
And if you know Daniel at all, he can't really help himself. He's popping up and down, serving everybody, making sure everything's just right. And sitting here with his family in the house he grew up in, you can see where it all comes from.
Madame and Monsieur, their son, he's now gigantic international success. When he was a young man at 14 sneezing in the field, did they ever anticipate this?
Du tout.
No. No early indications of greatness? But I mean, there is a line, isn't there, from the farm and haute cuisine. They all reflect the region, hopefully.
Yeah.
But in the best case, they're interdependent. They come from each other. In fact, who cooks in the great restaurants? Well, farm boys, basically.
Yeah.
That's who always cooked. My deepest thanks to your mother and your father. Thank you.
Merci. Next time, my father make you drive the tractor.
Beautiful, right? We can really indulge ourselves into something special. Such a beautiful day.
Pony ride.
Absolutely. Now we're coming to your most beautiful fascination side of Russian legacy, the birches.
The forest of birch.
Ah, what a place.
All hail the maximum leader. Now, let's dance.
Okay, thank you.
Well,
I took a walk through this beautiful world. Felt the cool rain on my shoulder. Found something good in this beautiful world. I felt the rain getting colder. Sha-la-la-la-la, 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 sha-la-la-la-la.
whatever you think of this guy, his dead, effectless eyes, his smooth, pulled tight like a snare drum face, he ain't going anywhere. Look at him. He's the Russian Superman, the KGB middle manager, desk jockey, turned expression of Greater Russia's hopes and dreams. He lets no opportunity to take his shirt off pass him by. Pose with a large gun, he's there. And no matter how transparently autocratic, vengeful, oblivious to even a thin veneer of democracy, Russians love him. They seem to feel about him like New Yorkers used to feel about Giuliani. He may be a son of a bitch, but he's our son of a bitch. It's February 2014, and the Sochi Olympics are just coming up when I arrive in Moscow. It's a different Moscow every time I come here. The 80s style go-go capitalist conspicuous consumption, see who can spend the most money disco techno thing I encountered when I first came here back in 2001, it's still going strong. In fact, these days, Moscow has one of the highest concentrations of billionaires in the world. But as never before, it's Imperial Russia now, a one-man rule. All power emanates. Every decision must consider this guy. Russia is full of characters with murky pasts and shadowy connections. But one of them I've called a friend for more than a decade.
Tony.
Oh,
Wow.
I guess I'm switching to vodka.
Zamir.
Yeah.
All right, brother.
Now, my concern is, back in the day, this place was famous for all of the rooms were bugged.
Not anymore, I'm sorry.
Oh, really? I'm really sorry about
Times
that.
change.
Poor Zamir, my longtime crony, he tries at least to be diplomatic about these things. I mean, he's got to live here, right? He doesn't want prussic acid on his blintsies.
Given the new enlightened, the liberalized, forward-thinking Russia, they've removed the surveillance devices.
Listen, as a born Muscovite, I'm trying to be a good patriot. So I really want you to tell me frankly, in a week from now, Zamir, now I understand why stereotypes sometimes send the bad message about Russia.
I have an open mind. Everything's great. Russia does anything they want.
Listen, why don't we just taste the awesome?
Let's get up.
Oh, spasiba, thank you. The most gorgeous women are in Russia. Welcome to Russia. На здоровье. I'm trying to be kind of sober. United we stand.
I prepared today special for you Russian tapas,
Russian tapas.
especially for vodka drinking, with the small pancakes like blinis.
Nice.
Da.
Then Astrakhan caviar. It looks like a winter. Salted cucumber with honey. This is a Baltic sprouts, smoked one, with a beetroot. And this one is a muksun. This is a white fish.
White fish from,
Frozen with Maldon salt and a little bit pepper, and you can eat raw.
Thank you, chef.
Yeah.
I'm hitting the caviar and the blini.
Uy. Maybe some more vodka? Thank you. And your smile makes it feel like it's water. What do you think? What is the perception of Mr. Putin these days? After 14 years, he's in power.
My
His
perception?
personal.
Do you really want to hear it?
I'm not sure, but let's see.
A former mid-level manager in a large corporation, short, I think that's very important, short, who has found himself master of the universe. And like a lot of short people, if you piss them off, bad things happen to you. He likes to take his shirt off a lot.
Let's be serious. I mean,
He
by the
strikes me
times-
as a businessman.
He
A
is.
businessman with an ego. Okay, so he's like Donald Trump, but shorter.
I think my friend needs some kind of booze. To you, comrade. Like this,
You can have that one. I'll get the next one.
Ooh. I'm serious about your 1 week stay in Russia. I want you to enjoy every minute of it. I hope you'll get something new, positive to learn and share around the world. That's my mission. Okay, Tony, so your new experience, right? Being part of the opposition rally.
This is nothing new for me. Blows against the empire, street fighting man, that's me. I go way back with this. I marched on the Pentagon with my dad when I was a kid.
Seriously?
Yep.
So you're well prepared. It could be a little bit physical and brutal today.
I don't know. That dog goes aiming for my nutsack. My day as a dissident will be over quickly.
There is opposition to Putin, but it's a mixed bag. And if you do see a demonstration like this one, it is with permission, along a planned route, carefully managed, and the cops and security tend to outnumber the demonstrators.
Phones, metal stuff goes up. The main topic of this rally is to support the political prisoners. Last May, when they came to protest against Putin's re-election, which allegedly was a little bit rigged.
The election results were, shall we say, dubious.
Some of them were arrested and put in prison, and some of them are still there.
Divide and conquer? Well, look who showed up today. Everybody from human rights activists to ultra-right-wing nationalists who think Putin's been too soft.
Putin is not right-wing enough for them.
No, he's like a liberal to them. He doesn't the Jews and immigrant workers.
Right. I'm sort of shocked that these guys are at the same demonstration.
Russians, they're not united around one political agenda, so...
The only thing that's uniting this group right now is general unhappiness with Putin.
That's it.
Bad things seem to happen to critics of Vladimir Putin. Journalists, activists, even powerful oligarchs, once seemingly untouchable, are now fair game if they displease the leader.
So, we were supposed to be dining at another restaurant this evening, and when they heard that you would be joining me, we were uninvited. Should I be concerned about having dinner with you?
This is a country of corruption. And if you have business, you are in a very unsafe situation. Everybody can press you and destroy your business. That's it. This is a system.
Meet Boris Nemtsov. He was deputy prime minister under Yeltsin and today is one of Putin's most vocal critics. This restaurant was kind enough to take us in. But the chef is a Brit, so maybe he has less reason to worry.
First course, gentlemen.
At Yornik Restaurant, they're serving their own versions of Dino-era Russian classics. A modern riff on borscht. Typically a chunky, hearty, beaten cabbage broth with chunks of meat. Here it's a puree with a more elegant, shall we say, deconstructed presentation.
Critics of the government, critics of Putin, bad things seem to happen to them.
Yes, unfortunately, existing power represent, let I say, Russia of 19th century, not of 21st.
Critics of Putin, beware. Oligarch Mikhail Khodorkovsky accused Putin of corruption and wound up spending 10 years in prison and labor camps. Alexander Litvinenko accused state security services of organizing a coup to put Putin in power. He was poisoned by a lethal dose of radioactive polonium. And Viktor Yushchenko, the former Ukrainian president, poisoned, disfigured, and nearly killed by a toxic dose of dioxin. I'm not saying official Russian bodies had anything to do with it, but it's mighty suspicious.
I don't think you need to be a conspiracy theorist to say whoever did this very much wanted everyone to know who done it. Everybody understands.
Yeah, of course.
And everybody is meant to understand.
Yeah, everybody understands. Everybody understands everything.
Right.
In this country.
When you're talking classic conspiracy theories and classically Russian-style paranoia, you want some classic Russian food to go along with it. Pelmeni, minced beef dumplings served on a pillow of cabbage with sour cream.
It's very good. Maybe the most extreme and visible example of how things seem to work here is the Sochi Olympics.
If you look at the map of Russian Federation, it's difficult to find a sport without snow and ice at all. but Putin did.
But it seems like a pretty obvious question. I mean, if we wanted to hold our Winter Olympics in Miami, presumably someone would say, isn't it a little warm there?
This is absolutely personal Putin project.
Right.
They spent more than $50 billion, which is the most expensive games in the history of mankind.
$26,000 a seat for the curling stadium to build.
Per seat.
Putin rode from Adler to Krasnaya Polyana, which is 30 miles. Price for that, $9 billion US. This is a road, right? It's 3 times expensive than American program flying to Mars.
And who got many of those contracts for the roads and stadiums and infrastructure? Well, there's these guys. Putin's childhood friends and judo partners, the Rottenberg brothers, whose companies received contracts worth upwards of $7 billion. And Putin's associate of 20 years, Vladimir Yakunin, who owns the state railroads. His company received $10 billion worth of contracts.
It's very easy to imagine what's happened with this money.
Right. And you know who cares in Russia? Just about no one. This is a case, the Litvinenko case. A known enemy of Putin, stricken with a bout of radioactive polonium. Aren't you concerned?
Me? About myself?
Yeah, you're a pain in the ass.
Tony, I was born here 54 years ago. This is my country. Russian people are in a very big trouble. Russian court doesn't work. Russian education decline every year. And I believe that Russia has a chance to be free. Has a chance. It's difficult, but we must do it.
America, yeah. All of Russia's eyes are upon you. Bring honor to your clan.
You know what, American? I will break you. I will break you. Союз нерушимый республик свободных.
Go.
Russia, вперед! Forget about it, we'll bury you! I'll revoke your visa! No! Russia does not surrender!
Oh, the land of the free.
Just missed it by... I was pretty close.
I was actually out here all last night practicing.
You must be kidding me.
While Zamir contemplates a suddenly grimmer future thanks to me, I head out to Rublevka, a compound of luxury homes outside Moscow, to meet Alexander Lebedev. At one time, Alexander was doing great. Former officer of the intelligence services like Putin turned billionaire. He owned pieces of Russia's most powerful energy companies, airlines, and banks, and still publishes the Novaya Gazeta, one of the only opposition newspapers left in Russia. But running a newspaper that's been harshly critical of the ruler has cost him. He's been stripped of nearly everything.
It can be a dangerous thing to do investigative journalism in this country. Your own paper, what, 5 journalists, 6?
Yeah.
Lost their lives?
Yeah, probably the biggest number because there was no war in this country. So in peaceful times, to lose 6 journalists killed, it's quite a lot.
6 journalists murdered, 1 paper, presumably for their reporting on political corruption or human rights abuse. Though pointing a finger directly at the government is impossible, one can say that the climate here is such that what you say can certainly get you killed.
You have at various stages made life difficult for yourself. Business was very good for you, and then you had to have an opinion.
When you interact with the local bureaucracies and judicial system, it still leaves a lot to be desired. Let's put it this way.
Lebedev is now a potato farmer.
That's my production. That's my potato.
The biggest producer in Russia, true, but his billions are gone, and he now lives the life of a mere millionaire.
Let's see, how do you like this one?
Very good.
Some freshly made potato chips that Lebedev is very proud of. And his personal chef prepares Scottish salmon smoked on cherry tree sawdust, served with avocado.
That's very good.
Lately, Lebedev is getting into slow food.
This is a cold-pressed cedar tree in Siberia.
Cedar oil?
From corn, from the cedar corn.
But he has not slowed down his profile or kept his mouth shut. Recently, on a Russian talk show, he got in an argument over the financial crisis with another guest. A heated argument. He ended up smacking the guy.
I saw the incident on television that got you in trouble. I found it very refreshing, actually. I think it's something that political discourse could use more of.
The government took the opportunity to charge him with politically motivated hooliganism, a charge that could have resulted in a penalty of 5 years in prison. He has instead been convicted of battery. He's working off his sentence painting fences and shoveling snow.
I mean, sitting on a bench and expecting to spend the next 5 years in prison with 2 small kids, it's not always, very nice, but the guy said something very bad. He said, those who don't have a billion, go yourself.
Though his victim did not register an official complaint, the message, I think, was clear.
The charges were pressed by the Russian state, which is pretty funny, because this is a private accusation.
It's dangerous. Very dangerous to criticize or investigate or speculate. Why? Why do you care?
Do you really think you can defeat it? No. So what are you doing? I hope. Hopefully, reason would prevail.
No, it's the KGB. They're blocking your signal.
I think they're just listening to it.
I'm sure that they are, believe it or not. I'm quite sure you've had someone on your tail the entire time you've been here.
What's rock and roll supposed to be about other than cars and girls and aggression? About dissent, about rebellion, right? In Russia, where everything is supposed to be just fine, that could be a dangerous position. Travis Leak is an expat American who manages this band, Luna. Ruben Kazarian is Luna's guitarist and songwriter.
What we have now here is the facade, and it's very nice. We have elections, democracy, courts, but all this doesn't work as it should. So what prevents right now in Russia to speak freely? Formally nothing, but in reality a lot of things.
Let's talk about MTV. So Rebel Music, as I understand it, was an MTV television series whose fundamental principle was to celebrate bands who say difficult things in environments where there might be repercussions. And as I understand it, your band was chosen for one of 7 episodes.
Correct.
And in fact, one of your songs was used as the title track for the series.
So I get a letter from the producer, and essentially it says, because of political pressure, the Russia episode has been removed from the Rebel Music series.
According to the producer, MTV Russia pushed back on the content. She presumes because of the negative impact it would have on them and their ability to do business on a day-to-day basis in Russia. MTV's official reason for removing Luna from the series is that they simply did not have enough time to air all the stories they filmed.
This was a documentary series about musicians standing up and risking their lives in some cases, to stand up against government abuse of power, government corruption, and yet a foreign government was able to editorially control what American viewers see on their TV screens. That, to me, is a scandal of epic proportion. This entire documentary is gone.
Luna's song is the title track to the series, but their episode never happened.
the rest of Russia is very, very different than Moscow. I mean, here you drive around, it's like Bentley, Ferrari, Maserati. You know, you go to buy a pair of shoes, you pick up a Bentley on the way out. You tour a lot in Russia. What do you see?
We see a lot of problems. We see that the level of the living is very low. There's something in rock music that unites everybody. It's something beyond politics. It's certain energy, and this energy is the same in every country, in every city. We have rock music, we are common people, we're like you.
We are going to the hometown of President Putin, St. Petersburg. He was born there,
right?
Started his career.
The night train to St. Petersburg is one of the great fun things to do in Russia. Roll on great steel wheels through the night, through dark forests of birch and snow. Out there in the dark, visible for a second or two at a time, the real Russia, the one most Russians live in.
So, Tony, time to enjoy life.
Ooh, the gentle chicken meat.
Really? I need something gentle, Tony.
Do you see Krushin and ratatouille?
Ratatouille?
May I propose a toast?
Let's go for
Two
it.
gentle chicken meats.
Pro tip, if the word gentle is used on a menu, avoid those items and stick to the classics. Like blini with caviar and cold pickled herring and potatoes, and solyanka, the soup of sturgeon, salmon, olives, and lemon.
Is healthcare free anymore in this country?
Well, officially, they say it's free, but if you want to get operation within a month and you can't wait, you won't get it. There's a long line of those.
And how about education?
Up to the high school, it's still free. The quality is not best as it used to be. People used to get a lot of things for free. Now it's coming to an end.
You ask for capitalism, you got it, buddy. According to Reaganomics, there's the trickle-down theory, okay?
Yeah.
So that means that if I make lots and lots and lots and lots of money, that money will somehow trickle down to you. You know, my masseur, my garage attendant, my aromatherapist. They, of course, will be making money. I will be buying more things for various wives and prostitutes. In this way, I don't exactly share the wealth, but I trickle it down. And if you don't like your job,
what can you do then?
Mopping my feces spattered walls or cleaning up my dead prostitutes, you could leave your job at Walmart and become a billionaire like me. Or you make a porn film, then you go on a reality show and you become really, really rich. For doing nothing. It's fantastic.
Tony, I'm convinced. I think you know what you're doing in life, man.
Did you put on your jammies? I just want to state for the record, just because you're in the top bunk, that's no indication of any relationship that we may or may not have.
You and me have to be very careful when we're in public, and if we bring up subjects like this, there could be some different repercussions. You know, tolerance never existed in Russia. That's why when just recently people started to come out in Russia, like lesbians and gays, they were either fired from the jobs or were given like hard time to exist.
Well, what about Tchaikovsky?
They try not to acknowledge it by saying he was a great musician, so...
He was a great musician who liked to have sex with other men.
That's what people are not meant to learn in school.
And that's the former Winter Palace.
You remember what happened in October 1917?
Everybody came charging through, charged up the steps, and looted the Winter Palace.
And Kerensky, who was in charge of interim government, had to put on his female outfit to escape the revolutionary peasants.
That wouldn't go over well these days.
Right. Not anymore.
Recently, in the run-up to the Sochi Olympics, attention has been drawn to a wave of rabidly homophobic remarks by public officials. Images of gay and lesbian activists being beaten and harassed in the street, often with official or semi-official consent. And a new law, which claims to forbid promoting homosexual propaganda to minors, but which can be interpreted any way the authorities choose.
What's happening here? What's going on?
Oh my God. I don't know what's going on. Every day I ask myself, what's going on? What's going on?
Do you have to be afraid?
No, I have nothing to lose. So I can be myself. I'm nobody in social system, and I understand it.
Artist and filmmaker Xenia Robrek is a brave young woman. She's openly gay. Lately, the actual hunting of gay people has been documented. Violent skinhead gangs who contact gay men and women online, arrange meetings under false pretenses, then violently ambush them. There have been very few prosecutions.
Увольнений, убийств.
Even you can get killed for this.
Our local fixer, Dasha, helps translate.
Xenia had a situation once when the skinheads attacked her on the street.
Not only once.
And not only once.
This new law, it prohibits propaganda.
Amongst minors.
Это как про советскую пропаганду. В то время сидели за все что угодно под соусом этого.
It's like about anti-Soviet propaganda.
Right.
During that war.
It means
you
whatever.
can go to jail for anything.
It means whatever they want it to be.
Yes. We look how many gay families we have with kids, and those people are in maximum stress right now because their families might be ruined.
Right.
We rightly see this as outrageous. The Russian public, however, it's very likely a vote-getter, a cynical pandering to a powerful and enduring vein of deep-seated homophobia that goes way, way back.
What do you think the source of this hatred is?
It's not about Russian Orthodox Church.
Okay.
It's about political structure. It's about power. We have two Russias.
Okay. What are they?
Big, like a big bear.
Not very sophisticated and based on instincts country.
Okay.
И страна мыслителей.
And the other side is the country of intelligent people, thoughtful people.
A lot of these political leaders, are they using the issue of gay rights to appeal to a larger audience?
They try to play with bear.
Right, because usually what happens when you play with the bear is tomorrow or the next day, the bear eats you.
Yeah.
Are you hopeful?
Это об ответственности.
It's about responsibility.
Руки опускать нельзя.
We should never give up.
Farm to table? In Russia? Organic? Local? Why, yes. There are those who are trying. Sergei Shnurov is a very popular musician and leader of the band Leningrad. Leningrad was banned in Moscow, purportedly for promoting alcoholism.
Cheers.
На здоровье, за знакомство.
This is Sergei's wife, Matilda. Together, they've opened this restaurant, Coco, with the mission to bring genuinely local, quality Russian food to diners.
We opened this restaurant 1 year ago, which will work only with local seasonal farmers' food. And we are the first who did it.
In all of Russia?
Yes, in all of Russia.
Rad.
Traditional combination, rye bread and Russian fish.
Chef Igor Grishekin's version of sushi. Instead of rice, more traditional Russian black bread, with sprats, mackerel, cod liver, and salmon caviar. Old school, but looks new school.
When I first came here, 2001, the best restaurant in Moscow was a nightmare of French, Japanese ingredients, recipes from nowhere.
В 2000-х, конце 90-х, начале 2000-х.
Everyone hated Russia, wanted to be someone else.
Second course?
Wow.
Pearl barley, lightly smoked raw beef, topped with quail egg.
Very interesting combination.
Very nice. What's the most popular thing? What do people want?
The most popular, it's Italian, Japanese cuisine, and karaoke.
And karaoke.
Yes.
Sounds like a nightmare.
Fusion, Tony, that's the word.
Cheers.
Oh, that was good.
Before Putin, before Gorbachev, Khrushchev, Stalin, and Lenin, there was this: Imperial Russia. Mighty palaces spread across the empire, where the very, very few lived in unimaginable luxury.
That's Paul, Tsar Paul.
While their people worked and starved.
Didn't work out so well for Paul, did it?
Not really.
They choked the dude to death, right?
Actually, he was strangled with a piece of cord.
The czars of previous centuries were certainly living the good life. Money no object when it came to personal comfort or luxurious lodgings. And today's imperial powers seem not far behind. Putin allegedly had $1 billion palace built for him. We couldn't license the actual smuggled photo, but our artist rendering looks like this. A Putin spokesman dismissed all this, telling the New York Times, "We have Congress halls built for the Kremlin, but if you call all of them Putin's palace, it is nothing but absurd."
Oh, vodka. Haven't tasted that before. So what would I be doing on my outing if I were a czar? Looking for some kulaks to oppress, or?
Hunting, enjoying life.
We're picking up some good speed here.
Oh, okay.
Some have suggested that Russia is, after all this time, coming full circle. A tiny, tiny minority in possession of nearly unlimited power and wealth.
The idea of running up the steps and disemboweling royals, I could easily imagine myself doing that. It would not take much convincing.
Wow, that's a pleasant surprise.
I would hurl them all into the sea tomorrow.
After the revolution, in a blunt force strategy designed to even things out, the government seized private residences, dividing them into little pieces and portioning them out to the masses who were swarming in from the countryside to serve the new, industrialized Soviet Union.
I never had any dreams of growing up in socialist wonderland. Like when I was a brief period where I was a hippie, the idea of living in a commune, not attractive to me.
I was born in a communal flat with 3 other families, sharing one John, one kitchen.
No way.
They would feed me when I had no food.
No way. I share my toilet with no man.
Take the first left, please.
Meet Yuri, human rights activist, professor of journalism, one of 26 tenants living together in this communal apartment. An arrangement basically unchanged since Soviet times.
Just in case you change your mind.
And it's here that I see for the first time a glimpse of my friend Zamir's mysterious past. Growing up in a home just like this one.
In Russia, normally people dip your bread into this canned shit and like this.
So this was normal for you growing up?
Yeah.
Little juniors?
I wouldn't drink booze until probably 22, but I'll show you how it works.
So who decided who moved into these places?
Советских граждан. Обычно
So those who were in charge of this specific communal services and residential department would assign X amount to this plan, to that plan.
Did you get to choose your neighbors, though? No, I guess not.
Мы увидим старые избы, старые дома.
In the Soviet Union and in the present-day Russia, there's never been a reason to create infrastructure to make people's life better. No one really cared about the people, and they should have decent toilet or shower.
So how's it going lately? Better, worse?
Давайте я обозначу не 10 лет, а вот тот период, когда...
So Vladimir Putin changed the whole landscaping in the country. First of all, he started to cramp down on the human rights, on the democratic rights. The most recent laws and changes in the constitution bring up the old Soviet Union type of structure in the country.
So what happens next?
Вы знаете, я очень боюсь. Ну, я уже старый.
A year before the Soviet Union collapsed, he would never believe in any wildest dreams that it could happen. Nowadays, he thinks it's a similar situation. It looks like a stable, people are busy, money made, rich cars, but it can't go on like this for too long. So Yuri predicts it could be in a similar overnight collapsing situation. So there is some hope.
You're due for some major renovations.
Just another crisp morning in St. Petersburg.
Neva River, ice fishing paradise.
Yeah, wouldn't go out on that. You'd have enough for $1 million, man. Not now. No, now. It's totally unstable.
Lessons of history.
Where are we?
Peter and Paul's fortress, which used to be a burial place for the Romanovs, who were a little bit executed in 1917.
They were very
executed. They
executed.
found.
Originally built to defend against the marauding Swedes. God, I hate those marauding Swedes. The Peter and Paul fortress was overrun by the Bolsheviks during the revolution.
So the 100-year anniversary of what is coming up?
Great October Socialist Revolution in 3 years from now. So I smell with that disparity gap in the society, very rich and very poor, that someone might bring up the masses back to the Winter Palace and storm it again. Like 100 years, nothing changed.
Every day at noon, without fail, this D-30 122mm howitzer is fired to commemorate the revolution.
Ready to load. Loaded. Very solemn moment. Moment of truth, Tony, for you. Come up. Attention. 1, 2, 4.
Sweet.
Enemy is distracted. Congratulations, you are the hero of Russia now.
Sweet.
You can't take it on the plane, though. They won't understand.
No. Don't even carry on?
Since the filming of this show, a number of things have happened. Putin's Sochi Olympics, a blatant exercise of political muscle and a financial boondoggle of a size unheard of in history, went off as planned. Russia won many gold medals, the most of any country in competition, which was really all that mattered. A few journalists complained about the bathrooms, but that is all but forgotten. More than $50 billion of mostly public money gone. Ukraine rose up and their despotic pro-Putin president ran away. As if a foregone conclusion, Russia, in broad daylight, has recently annexed the Crimea, and as I'm writing this, is massing tens of thousands of troops on the border of Ukraine. The world has done nothing. It will do nothing. As Vladimir well knew, he wins again. everything changes. Nothing changes at all.
I took a walk through this beautiful world. Felt the cool rain on my shoulder. Found something good in this beautiful world. I felt the rain getting colder. Sha-la-la-la-la, sha-la-la-la-la-la, sha-la-la-la-la, sha-la-la-la-la-la.
Drinking at 4:30 in the afternoon. It's the perfect time. The light is just right. It's important. Also, it's not too crowded. It's quiet. Man could have a drink in a pint in a dignified fashion, free of care.
Iceland.
No, thank you.
There you go.
Thank you so much.
So you're on holiday?
Sort of.
It's your first time in Glasgow?
No, I've been a number of times before. I haven't been in this pub before, though. Oldest in...
1510 was the building.
1510. Amazing. From my very first time, it was Glasgow. My favorite city in Scotland, one of my favorite cities on earth. I was going to say one of my favorite cities in Europe, but is Glasgow Europe? I don't think so. It feels somehow older than that. To many outsiders, Glasgow is seen as a hard-scrabble, even fearsome place. A place that history has moved on from. But there is definitely a sense here that something different is around the corner.
What will be one of the most important events in Scottish and British history. More than 4 million people will decide whether Scotland should stay in the UK or become an independent country.
Will Scotland stay or will it leave the Union?
Scottish independence could mark the beginning of the end of the UK as we know it.
But in the end, 55% of Scots voted to stay in the Union. That left almost half the population still hungry for independence. And with 73.5% of teenagers voting yes, England had its undies very much in a bunch over the possibility of an unraveling of the Union with Scotland. It's an idea that is overwhelmingly popular in this city above all others.
Glasgow's a gutsy city. I'm told there's going to be big changes, a different outlook, regeneration, but I still hear the cries of yesterday.
Why does the possibility of independence have such a powerful hold on Glasgow? The past. Glasgow has long endured, among other things, a reputation for being the most violent area in the UK. It's a familiar cycle, analogous in many ways to what we see elsewhere. Hard times, disappearing manufacturing base, unemployment, a general sense of apathy that the government can't or won't fix what's broken. That in the corridors of power in London, in Edinburgh, they just don't give a shit about Glasgow. Especially Glasgow's east side. Like a lot of cities, like most cities in fact, Glasgow is divided. The River Clyde divides the north and south sides, but the bigger, more tangible divide is between east and west. The west, things are expected to be, well, Nice. Nice cars, nice families, all the nice stuff that affluence supposedly brings. East Side, that's where you grow up hard, where things are rougher, where you've got, according to popular legend, to fight to live every day.
In Scotland, if you're a young boy in Scotland and you're 9 or 10 and you're coming home from school and a big guy beats you up and you run home to your mum crying, you know what she'll do? She'll give you a cuddle and then she'll tell you to get back out there and get him. Don't let anybody ever do that to you. And if you need to get a stick, get a stick. If you need a brick, get a brick. Don't let anybody do it to you. That's what we do. And it makes us dangerous enemies or resourceful enemies, but it also makes us very loyal allies.
Detective John Carnation, 38 years on the job, much of it as murder police on the East Side. He's seen it all. Confronted with violent hooliganism, the traditional approach has always been to get out there and bust some heads, make some stats, put up some numbers, lock up some perpetrators. But after decades of dealing with generation after generation of violence, much of it gang-related, he took an unusual and controversial new tactic. Along with a colleague, John established a special unit within the Strathclyde Police called the Violence Reduction Unit, and focused their efforts on the social problems that he felt led directly to violent crime. His peers, unsurprisingly, were dubious. But as of 2014, Scotland is at a 40-year low in violent crime. Retired from the force, Carnation now advises law enforcement around the world. When in town, though, he likes to come here. Typical Scottish fare, Mother India. For a lamb curry simmered in spicy tomato gravy, served with traditional Scottish naan bread.
I knew Glasgow was traditionally a tough town. I've always seen Glasgow as a warm, welcoming place. It's always been one of my favorite places in this part of the world to visit. So do you think the town's reputation is deserved, or is this a...
No. I mean, in terms of the level of violence, the facts are the facts. That's there. But statistically, if you don't live or come from Glasgow, your chances of being a victim of a violent attack in Glasgow, it's something like 0.000.
I've never, ever felt, and I've done a fair amount of stupid behavior here, a fair amount of drinking, a fair amount of putting myself in the sort of, situations that they advise visitors to a new town to not do. I've never, ever felt uncomfortable here. On the other hand, I could be wrong in that after a few drinks, I notice that I don't understand anyone. So they could be making various threats of violence to me at the bar, and I could just be smiling and nodding.
Indian food is, of course, huge here, as it is everywhere in the UK. You could venture a guess that it's the cold, damp, and often dreary weather that causes the heart to yearn for spicy food from hotter climates. But it's more likely it began with the trade routes established by the East India Company in the 17th century and returning sailors, and that whole take over India thing. All I can say is pass the Rogan Josh.
So, how do you reduce violence? I mean, traditionally, we just need more police. Get out there, crack some skulls, throw some more people in jail, and problem solved.
Yep.
I'd say a good number of Americans probably still believe that very much. We're very fond of throwing people in prison. To suggest otherwise would be seen as coddling criminals.
Absolutely, and it was the same here. We weren't making a blind bit of difference to the levels of violence. We started to think about it in an entirely different way. Violence is a public health issue. We all have the capacity for violence. People learn how not to be violent. And that's why early years is important, because things that happen then will affect their whole life course about how they make decisions about themselves and how they judge risk. No matter how good the police service is, it will just contain and manage the problem. It won't make it better.
First of all, it's not what I'd expect to hear from somebody who's spent, 38 years with murder police, presumably busting heads and arresting people, that we should hug these little bastards.
Yeah,
more,
absolutely. Yeah.
That we should make them feel like they're worth something. I mean, I get it. I believe it, absolutely. But everything you've been saying,
is no way to run for office in my country.
You shouldn't. But I mean, if you say, look, this is going to take a generation, they go, oh, politicians don't know about generations.
Yeah,
They don't think of the next election, for goodness
They're
sake.
worried about the newscast on Monday at 6
A lot
o'clock.
of headlines. Yep, absolutely. The truth is, we don't have it licked here either, Tony. We don't have it sorted here. But we're on a journey.
So what's going right here? Come on, let's face it, this is one of the most awesome cities anywhere.
People. That's how it's going. Individuals starting to get together and say, look, this is shit. We can't keep doing this. Let's try something different.
Look, I don't want to give you the impression that Glasgow is an impoverished wasteland filled with violent hooligans and gang members. An impression shared by many candy-ass Europeans for sure, and a reputation that many Glaswegians are only too happy to perpetuate. Let's face it, Detroit or New Orleans, most American cities make this town look like Club Med by comparison. Glasgow remains the region's no-bullshit zone. What I find most endearing in this town is that if you're a native, you're probably an expert at taking the piss. A high-level style of ball-busting that approaches an art form around here.
Well, it's good to be back at work again, isn't it? You don't call that work, you're a glove and you're a gun and you're a goggle.
No one excels more at deflating the pompous, making fun of self-importance, turning even the darkest tragedy in a comedy than the Glaswegian.
It's about life, isn't it?
That's if you could understand the bastards.
Super Mario Conti. He never does.
This can be a challenge, particularly after a few pints of heavy or a couple of bottles of Buckfast.
What a show-off you are!
Glasgow has a reputation as a hard-drinking, two-fisted town.
Yeah.
I've always found it to be this funny, very funny town. I mean, just everybody's a natural born
Very
comic.
dark humor. If you say in America, my father's died,
Mhm.
people immediately are so sympathetic. In Glasgow, if you say, my father's died, Glaswegians say, what size was his shoes? We have that.
Janie Godley grew up in the East End, married into an organized crime dynasty, worked as a bartender, became a very famous playwright, author, and stand-up comedian. I thought I'd meet her here at Rogano's, a very old-school institution.
Thank you.
Janie's working some goat cheese thing with figs. For me, Scottish oysters are an irresistible impulse. They are magnificent, by the way.
What a lot of people abroad don't understand is the women are the backbone of many of the communities because the men were always drunk and working in the shipyards and dying young. And that still exists, Tony. The age expectancy is still 55. In Fallujah, Iraq, it's 65.
Wow, it's a pretty extraordinary thing.
Yeah, I know. And there's still a lot of crime, there's still drugs, there's still a lot of alcohol problems. But I think the fact that we are a bit shit helps us because we had the Commonwealth Games here, and I love that everybody tried not to shout in the street and swear and sell stolen goods in public. I love that they all had this covert operation of, let's be nice for a week. I love that.
Main course, Janie goes for the pan-fried brill, but me, I can't pass up ocean liner continental classic from days gone by, like the fabulously unfashionable Tyrannosaurus Rex of seafood dishes, lobster thermidor. Without irony, the lobster is Scottish, as is the cheese, the eggs, everything really.
do you have anything to say on the Glaswegian diet?
The diet.
I mean,
it's really
the story
interesting.
is that the health-wise, as far as heart problems, right behind Tonga for all-time worst, least healthy.
Yeah, it's a bad thing. It's really weird because when I was a kid, and we were poor, we ate fish, butter beans, potatoes, then we would have liver and onions and potatoes and cabbage and peas. And then somewhere from the mid-70s onwards, it just became crap. And now you've got a generation of women who don't know how to make a pot of soup. To be a real Glaswegian, Tony, housewife, you have to be able to make a pot of soup. I can't make soup. The joke is apparently I'm good at sex. Sex takes 5 minutes, soup can take days, and it smells shit. And my husband's never asked for soup, so that works out.
There's a terrific music scene in Glasgow. The pubs are among the finest anywhere. They say Glaswegians have more fun at a funeral than people in Edinburgh have at a wedding. That does invite, from time to time, admittedly, a fair amount of knuckle-headed behaviors. If you're looking for a beer and a beating, Glasgow will happily provide it. The toughness thing is no joke. If you've ever tried to choke a small Glaswegian into unconsciousness, as I have, long story, let me tell you, it's like wrestling with an angry fire plug. It's nearly impossible. Also, it hurts. Access to guns is extremely difficult here. So Scottish hoodlums, unable to dispatch their victims with the kind of speed and efficiency as we enjoy in the good old USA, has had traditionally to resort to the knife to do its maiming and killing, the old country way, one person at a time.
A stabbing might not get more than a few lines down the column in the Glasgow papers. Because in this city of violence, ordinary stabbing is hardly news anymore.
Where knife violence is an affliction, there must be a cure. Meet Mark Davies. He began his career working as a bouncer in some of the East Side's toughest drinking establishments, where he had plenty of opportunities to hone his skills. Now he runs Tactical Edge, teaching close combat and knife defense to UK special operators and security companies. Come at him with a knife, the overwhelming likelihood is that it will soon be hanging out of your ass.
Generally, these courses start, come at me with a knife, and a guy comes at you like it's Friday the 13th. Yeah. And pretty much nobody outside of Friday the 13th, in my experience, has ever come at anyone with it like this. If someone does come, they're rushing at you and with multiple, they're like in a manic frenzy of multiple jabbing or slashing movements.
Yes, your attacker has been affected by adrenaline. In such a state, the forebrain has started to shut down. Yeah, so they're no longer really capable of cognitive thought. So you tend to get these repeated lines of attack. You know, if they're going for the stomach, it tends to be a sewing machine kind of action.
Is your first order of business deflecting or getting the damn knife away from them?
Right. I'm either going to gain control of the weapon or go to a returning blade technique where I gain control of the weapon and return it to sender.
Right.
Yeah.
Show me.
Okay. The thing about knife defense is there's no magic bullet. Any technique can fail. Any technique can go wrong. And if there's multiple opponents, that can get a bit difficult as well. Yeah, this sort of thing, yeah?
Right.
So, if we've got the knife held up close, okay, yeah? So I'm gonna clap, pull, hit. Right. Now I'm gonna force this thing back into your sternum repeatedly, what we call the woodpecker. Right. Yeah, okay? So, you know, 2 hands on, right. Kick first, boot, back and forward. Right. Charge. That's it, charge. So, ATM mugging, okay. I'm going to pin your hand to me so I own the weapon.
Right.
And I'm going to slap backwards into the groin.
Yep.
So I'm going to hit, come up, grab.
Yep.
Now I'm going to introduce point A with point B.
Yeah, that sucks.
Now, when I do that a few times, it's like taking a baked potato out of the microwave. It's going to be really hot. You're going to let go. So bang, 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 bang. Okay, it's a little bit more close in and surreptitious, so everybody doesn't see it, yeah? So clear the weapon, just shift it to the side, knee him in the balls, straight under, wham! Return to sender.
That was an education.
No problem.
Really enjoyed that.
Last night in Glasgow, and enough with the deeper issues. Now, I want to go no deeper than the bottom of a bubbling cauldron of hot grease. It's out there. It's calling to me. I want it now. A happy place from my past, where once I frolicked young and carefree in the field of friolated arts. The University Cafe, where I learned at the foot of the masters the Tao of hot fat and crispy batter. Yes, they do a deep-fried Mars bar here, and deep-fried pizza. Been there, done that. But Carlo here and his twin brother have been keeping the Varecchia family tradition alive since 1918. And it ain't about no Mars bar.
I'm tempted to just go completely nuts for all of the things that I like pie, beans, and chips. Like, I don't even know what kind of pie, but I want it. The macaroni and cheese is tempting. Haggis I'm doing. Couldn't resist that. Cheese Beano. I don't even know what that is, but I kind of want it. Ooh, sausage roll. I do like a good sausage.
I order the fish and chips and some haggis. Haddock, battered and floating adrift in a sea of mysterious, life-giving oil. The accumulated flavors of many magical things as it bobs like Noah's Ark, bringing life in all its infinite variety. Deep-fried haggis, my personal favorite. Sinister sheep parts, in tube form in this case. And if you don't like chopped up liver and lungs and all that good stuff, believe me, the curry sauce sets you right. The combination of French fries or chips in the local dialect with curry sauce and with cheese is perhaps a bro too far. Guy Fieri in a kilt. But what the hey?
I'm pretty sure God is against this. Oh, yeah, definitely. Oh. That's good. It doesn't eat well with a fork. You really got to pick this up. I'm so ashamed. Oh, yeah, clean living. That's really one of life's great pleasures. Don't let them tell you otherwise. They're lying about you, Mr. Haggis. There was no more unfairly reviled food on earth than haggis. Its ingredients are, in fact, no more unusual or bizarre or unappetizing than any hot dog you ever ate. You know, how many anal glands are in a chicken nugget? I don't know, and I'm not suggesting there are anal glands in a chicken nugget, but would you be surprised if there were? We'll get to the bottom of this. Back to you, Wolf.
Heading north out of Glasgow, Scotland quickly becomes something else. A savagely beautiful, harsh, but absolutely mesmerizing landscape that seems to have changed not at all for thousands, even millions of years. And across Loch Marie, inaccessible only by boat, one of the great isolated estates, Letteryu. It's the favorite retreat of my friend, Adrian Gill. More widely known as A.A. Gill, he's the much-feared and widely followed restaurant critic for the London Sunday Times. A regular columnist for a spectrum of magazines, author, traveler, and one of the finest essayists of our time. Letteryu, as it stands today, was built as a shooting lodge. Deer stalking like they do here is something from another era. But it persists in places like this, which both protect and cull deer populations. If you are, like us, of course, two murderous aristocrats looking to put some venison on the table, you need help. Professional help. And estates like Letteryu come with a stalker. Stephen Miller has been working here for 8 seasons now, both protecting the animals who live on it and helping people like us in the arduous and delicate task of sneaking up on them. We would, as gentlemen of leisure, require a cook. And Adrian has recommended the supremely well-suited Fiona Cullinane, who excels at this kind of Scottish traditional game cookery. For dinner, it's grouse, shot, then hung until the already funky game bird gets pleasingly ripe. The birds are rubbed inside and out with salt and pepper, some fresh thyme jammed in the cavity, browned in the pan, plenty of butter to baste with. In traditional game bird cookery of the British Isles, bread sauce is a must. We don't do this in America, but here, it's essential. Basically, it's milk, simmered with flavoring agent like an onion piqué, nutmeg, and bay leaf, then thickened with raspings of bread. Grouse barded with bacon, then roasted in the oven. Nicely rare to medium rare, they're removed to rest and the pan deglazed with red wine, game stock is added, and the sauce reduced. Topped with watercress alongside some parsnips and beetroot.
So explain what we're eating, because this is as classic as it gets, right?
And this is specifically Scottish. This is a grouse, which is the only truly wild game bird in Britain. They're the most highly prized as a sporting bird. They're the most difficult to shoot, but more importantly, they're the most prized to eat.
And this bread sauce thing, what is that?
Bread sauce, which is, so you really have to grow up here to love this. It's like pottage. It's a sops.
Mm-hmm.
It's a very old dish, but it goes very well with the grouse. They're a very gamey meat. It's a very grown-up taste that is slightly repellent,
mm-hmm.
but it is within that it is particularly alluring.
Right.
And there is something also sexual about it that people don't often talk about.
Right. So good.
I went to a vegetarian school. My parents sent me to a vegetarian boarding school. And so for 9 years, the year after I left, I was a vegetarian.
9 years as a vegetarian? That's unthinkable to me.
And then I decided not to be. And I made the decision that if I was going to eat meat again, that I had to be prepared to do the whole business.
Right. You got to be accountable.
For all of it. So I started getting fish with the guts in and gutting them, and then you go, and then in the end, someone says, "Well, come and you want to eat it, come and kill it." And you go, "Well, then I have to do that as well." And when I started doing it, it was like coming home. And that's the thing with being on the hill.
In until the 19th century, the Scottish Highlands were seen by many as a mysterious, hostile, and dangerous land. Populated, when populated at all, by scary-ass barbarians, descendants of the terrifying Picts, tribes so ferocious, so extravagant in their violence and toughness that even the Roman legions decided not to mess with them and instead built a wall, hoping to just keep them out and away from civilized society. Later, hunting estates like this were home to tenant farmers who scratched out a living growing oats and potatoes. Owned by landed gentry, by various royals, the Highland clans Mackenzie, MacDonald, and MacLeod, to name a few, later by newer money, fabulously wealthy foreigners. Today, around half the land in Scotland is owned by fewer than 500 people. It's an anachronism, dismaying to some, I grant you, but seductive as well. Because who wouldn't do this if they could? Enjoy this kind of rugged solitude from the comfort of a warm, inviting 17th century lodge. Warm one's legs by the fire, play a little snooker, enjoy a fine single malt or two, a substantial game meal, maybe another whiskey perhaps. Contemplate the mysteries of the universe under a starry sky. Then to sleep into the arms of Morpheus. To rise in the morning as bringer of death. Stephen and Adrian keep calling it the Hill, but that ain't no hill I ever seen. It's a behemoth, an endless range of behemoths. One mountain giving way to a moor, giving way to another mountain, then more, then more. There might be a hill somewhere in there, but it's probably between mountains after a 5-mile uphill walk. And though I am, to be modest, in the best shape of my life of late, it's a daunting hike. The climb gradual, then steep. The footing ranging from rocky to spongy and wet. Mile after mile. Me trying to look cool, make it seem like this is nothing unusual. But really, I'm dying. We walk the Highlands for hours. Our stalker, Stephen, finally identifies a red stag of suitable age and size. One ready, in the parlance, to be taken off the hill. Getting in a range without scaring him off, however, is another challenge.
Just to come back round.
We need to circle around the mountain to close the distance.
Like, but there's not a lot I can do, you know? You've got to get past them, like. Okay.
So we go slowly.
Pretend we're hikers at the moment.
Yeah, so you've got a bobble hat.
What?
If you put a bobble hat on, the deer think you're a hiker. Just in front into the... Can you see the antlers?
Yeah.
Safe, remember. Just take your time. That's a nice stag.
10 points.
Is that good?
He was never going to get any better. Do you want to use your knife?
Yeah.
For shooting your first red stag in Scotland, we all get blooded. Oh. It's best if you close your eyes.
Oh, okay.
And the rule is you have to leave it on.
Yeah.
All day.
How's it going, chaps?
As getting vehicles up here would be both difficult and destructive, the estate has maintained the tradition of using Highland ponies to retrieve the stalked deer. They're bred to be strong and trained to do this work. They'll likely make it back sooner than we will.
Thanks, chaps. We'll catch you later on at some point.
Yeah.
Good boys through.
I'd thought coming up, my legs burning, I can't wait till that nice, easy downhill walk back. But as I soon find out, the walk down is even harder. Knees screaming, face crusted with dried blood, I'm looking forward to a warm fire, a strong whiskey, and some good country-ass cooking.
So what do you fancy with the venison? Stewed with wine?
They always marinate in juniper and all of that. I super simple.
Okay, we'll do that.
The venison is seasoned with salt and pepper and rosemary, seared in duck fat, and then into the oven. A pan sauce made from the fond, red wine, and deep game stock, sweetened with currant jelly and finished with a mellowing knob of whole butter. Served with clapshot, basically mashed turnips and potatoes.
That's it, that's the end of the season.
Tuesday the girls will be getting
and you
it.
start killing the girls. You have to traditionally wear the zipper mask or the leather mask to do that, and you send them notes beforehand saying, "I'm watching you. I know where you live."
We deserve this.
Oh, we've worked for it, huh?
Yeah. Literally the greatest feat of strength of my entire life. Never at any time in my entire life have I done anything remotely so physical over a sustained period of time.
Really?
Never.
Look how well you look.
At no point previously in my life would I have been able to do it. Thank you, guys.
Cheers, the best of health, folks.
All the very best.
Sanjivat.
Sanjivat. Good shot. The hill's now a safer place. A safer place for ramblers.
It's a lot safer now that we're not on it, mind.
I came to Scotland this time to shoot an animal in the heart, to take part, to be fully culpable in a practice nearly as old as these hills. You walk this country, stalking an animal across the rocks and wet heather, you feel little has changed from how your distant ancestors must have searched for their food, with a rifle, with a spear, with a club. I dragged my knuckles up a hill, and like my ape-like predecessors, returned tired, happy, and covered in blood. Everything changes. Nothing changes at all.